Alright dudes, Hayzink here. Welcome back to the channel for yet another Disgaea RPG video. That's right, we're back once again. If you've not already, consider subscribing, liking, doing all that good stuff, comment, engage. That's what you do, guys. Anyway, much like we did earlier for Girl Laharl, we are going to dive back in to talk about the other character that's coming featured on the banner. Now, obviously, you've been able to pick up Girl Laharl and MidBoss from the premium banner for pretty much since day one, but they've been in a really difficult spot to actually get. So most people consider this as their debut. However, if you were really lucky, you were able to pick them up before now. So we're going to go in, we're going to break down exactly who MidBoss is, what he does, and what he can add to your team. We'll look at a couple of characters that will probably work quite well alongside MidBoss. But let's talk, more action, let's dive in and talk about it. So, MidBoss is actually called Vyers the Dark Adonis, but if you ever played Disgaea 1, Laharl basically just laughed at him and said, well, you're basically the MidBoss now, and MidBoss just stuck as his name. And it's really quite funny because it was almost fourth wall breaking in Disgaea, where Laharl recognised that he was like the first difficult character he would come up against, and you as a player would obviously come up against. And it just stuck, and it was a really funny meta joke, and MidBoss was born, and he's become a bit of a fan favourite ever since. So we'll go ahead and we'll look at MidBoss. He's obviously a monster character, which at the moment, on the higher end, monster characters are a bit lacking on global. Obviously that's all going to change when we get the likes of Overlord the Sagia, etc. People will probably switch to monster teams, a lot of people will anyway, but there's still a lot of good options for MidBoss and a lot of things that you can do with him. So first of all, let's look at his abilities, okay? So his main ability is all stats except speed plus 11% to monster allies, okay? So that's monster allies, whether they are spells or whether they are physical, he will boost them all. His any one is monster allies damage dealt by skills plus 12%. That's really good early on, so for an NE1, I think that's a really good skill for him to have. His NE5 is called Harem, which is attack plus the number of females in the party times 7%. So obviously there's a few female monsters, especially when Asagi comes along, he is going to work really well because he's going to boost his own attack, and if you've got her up to a high enough NE level, you're going to boost her attack as well. His NE7 is Adonic Defense, and it's all allies damage taken from humanoids down by 12%. So you can obviously see there that his kit is actually really decent. He's going to give good boosts if you want to run a monster team, and I think for that reason he is a decent unit. He's definitely a decent unit. He's probably one of the better monster units that we've had up to this point, and there's a lot of options to run with him, but we'll talk about that later on. Now, we're going to talk about his character skills, okay? I will do what I've done with Laharl, and I will splice in footage here of his skills. Unfortunately, I don't have him at NE3, so I won't be able to show you his NE3 skill, but I will show you the other skills here, guys, okay? So, his first skill, his level 1, is Adonis Shot, okay, which is an AoE, and it's a beautiful energy bullet, attack down by 5%. So he's going to do them with damage, and he's also going to reduce their attack if he doesn't kill them. Obviously this can be quite effective in longer battles because the characters you're fighting are going to get debuffed and they're not going to hit you as hard, which is obviously pretty decent. His second skill is called Adonis Blast, and that is another AoE skill, and it's the even more beautiful MidBoss special move, which has also got an int down by 10%, so it means any spells they cast are going to be less effective when it comes to causing damage to your party. So again, you can see he has a little bit of debuffing action going on there. His next move, Adonic Buster, is a single attack, and it's got a buff to himself. So the unmatchable, beautiful MidBoss secret skill, attack plus 25%. So he's going to buff himself by 25%, and he's going to cause single attack damage. Now, if you do get this guy to NE3, which I don't on JP, so I'm not able to show you this move, it's called True Adonis Shot, okay? And it's another AoE, and the Essence of Beauty energy bullet, attack down by 12%. So you can see there that all of his skills across the board, he's either buffing or he's debuffing, which is really, really good. If you factor in his NE levels or buffing party skills, his own skills, etc., this guy can end up doing a decent amount of damage, and if you're looking for a good monster unit, he's probably one that you should really consider. But that's enough about his skills. We'll have a look at his magic spells just now. We don't usually focus too much on these because not everyone builds their characters for magic, but if you do, he's got a charm. It bestows Forget on the target for 3 turns. He's got speed boost, which increases the speed of target for 3 turns, and you can cast that on an ally. It's not like you need to cast it on yourself. He's got Mega Wind, Mega Speed Boost, and Slumber. Slumber, you can target an enemy and put them to sleep. So that can obviously become quite a decent spell that you might use depending on the situation. So let's talk monsters. You've obviously seen that this guy is going to be a good buffer for other monster units. I don't want to look too far into the future, so I know I've mentioned Salia already on this video. I'm not going to actually highlight her here. I'm going to talk about characters that are available now that would work quite well with this guy. Now there's obviously quite a lot of monster characters in the game. I'm not going to run through all of them. I've picked, let me see, 2, 4, I've picked 6 to talk about, okay? Again, ranging from premium characters to free-to-play characters, and yeah, just give you some options of what you can do. So the first one we're going to talk about is probably obvious, and it's Disgaea. This is going to be a good partner for Disgaea. Disgaea obviously gives all monster allies a boost of 11% to everything except speed, so she's going to have that on top of him doing the same thing. So the two of them together are going to give big buffs to monster characters, and to be honest, having Disgaea on there is probably going to be a really good thing for your team, especially because if you have this guy at any one, he is giving plus 12% damage to your skills. Some of the other characters we're going to talk about boost AoE damage as well, so if you link all these things together, it's obviously going to make quite a big impact on the amount of damage that these characters are dishing out. So the next one we're going to look at is not a free-to-play character. It is a character you may have summoned, but we'll look at it just now, and that is Salia. And what she can basically do is give all allies 15% attack. Now they don't need to be monsters for that, okay, but she does give all allies 15% attack. She'll also give another plus 12% attack to skills if she's at any one, and if you get her up to any 5, all damage taken by monster allies is down by 12%. If you can somehow get her to any 7, which again is obviously going to cost you a lot of rainbow prinnies, monster wielding physical allies will get plus 10 SP when a turn begins. So again, if you can boost her all the way up, which I'm not for 1 second saying I think you should do, but if you decide to do that, or if you have an any 7 Salia, she's obviously going to work very well with MidBoss. Now, we've got some free-to-play characters that we can actually talk about, and these free-to-play characters will actually also work really well with MidBoss and the characters we've spoke about before. So first of all, we've got the most recent free-to-play character, which is Curtis. And Curtis's main skill is monster physical wielding allies, all stats except speed, plus 12%. So again, you think about it, you've got MidBoss, you've got Curtis, you've got Disgaea on a team, that's some really big buffs going on there. And if you get this guy to any 5, all allies receive defense plus 15% as well. So that's literally just looking at the abilities, not looking at what his character skills do and stuff like that. They're obviously going to marry up quite well with MidBoss and probably with Disgaea, because I think a lot of you will probably run Disgaea alongside MidBoss. So Curtis is actually a really good option for you to run. Now, we've also got another free-to-play character, which is the Mirror Cake Prinny. Now, we obviously all got the Mirror Cake Prinny as a free-to-play character. You may have used that character for fodder, which it's up to you if you did, but if you kept a hold of that character, then the main ability of the Mirror Cake Prinny is going to be monster allies damage dealt to humanoids plus 12%. So if you're taking on a team of humans, the Mirror Cake Prinny is going to really boost these characters that have preceded it. So you know yourself, that character being on there is going to make a big bit of difference. Again, that one's mainly just there for that damage dealt to humanoids, but I wanted to cover the free-to-play options because I feel like a lot of people sometimes forget about these units, and if we talk about them just now, you know that you can use them alongside mid-boss if you're lucky enough to pull them. But yeah, that's definitely a good option there, Mirror Cake Prinny. The next one up is going to be the free-to-play unit that you will get off of this event, and it's Rainier. Okay, now Rainier's main ability is magical monster wielding alloys get all speed, all stats except speed, but up by 12%. Now obviously that's not going to affect mid-boss etc, but the any one level of this character, okay, so you can get this character to any one for free obviously because of the event, so her any one is going to give monster allies AoE damage dealt up by 15%. So if you factor into that you've potentially got 2 characters on this team already that's going to give skills a boost to damage, factor on top of that the AoE damage boost that you're getting from Rainier, this could be a big boost to your team, and it could cause mid-boss and any other monsters you've got in the team to hit extremely hard. Now I will probably make a video talking about Rainier in more depth, but just know just now she's probably going to work quite well if you do put her onto a team with mid-boss. Again, I just want to talk about one more character, and it's just a low level 3-star character. I say low level, but it's a 3-star character. You may have pulled it, and it's the bear. The reason I've highlighted the bear is because the bear's any one is monster allies damage dealt by normal attacks plus 12%. If you factor all these things in with what we've already spoke about before, that's a big boost to your team, and it could cause your team to be hitting quite hard. So I don't really think characters like that should be discounted as something that you don't want to use. So you should maybe look at doing stuff like that. I think the characters I've showed you just now is just a snippet of things that you can do if you pull mid-boss. Again, I think it's good to look at what you maybe want to have before you summon for these characters, because yeah, it's all well and good summoning for your favourite character, but synergising with the rest of your team is really important in Disgaea RPG, and it's mainly the reason why you don't have to summon on every banner, you know. But I think mid-boss is a really good unit, especially if you're looking for monster units. He really fits that really well. He does a lot for the team, and a lot of other characters link up quite well with him and boost your damage output to help you clear stages fast and effectively. So anyway guys, that has been a look at mid-boss. I've been Hayzink, thanks for joining me on this video. I'm kind of trying to do these showcases a little bit different, so if you could give me some feedback down below. Do you like me talking about characters that will work well with the new characters? Would you rather I just told you exactly what they do and what I think of them? Or do you like this new kind of format where I focus more on how they're going to work in a team, who they synergise with, etc. I'd love your feedback. Let me know in the comments down below. Consider liking the video, it really helps. I've been Hayzink, I'll catch you on the next one, dudes. Peace.